Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Cody here from Alien Concepts, and there was some recent news. This came out yesterday on August 19th, and this came way of Ivan Wagner, a cosmonaut aboard the International Space Station. As they were flying over the Antarctic, he was getting some very beautiful footage of Aurora Borealis, and in doing so, he accidentally captured 5 objects as they come across the horizon. Obviously, this is openly admitted. We have all of these videos here. This is taken directly from his Twitter as well, which I highly recommend checking out. This whole video is just beautiful of the Aurora Borealis. And we see objects come into frame over the horizon on the left side of the screen as they follow a sort of arcing trajectory and come back down across the horizon, sort of to the mid-right portion of the screen. And I'm going to go ahead and just show you the video. There's 5 objects. People have been having a hard time seeing the first object, so I'm going to go ahead and point that out as well. You'll see my little cursor with the ring around it in order to highlight this. So we'll start the video here, and you are going to see the first object as it comes across in an arcing motion, right there, followed by the 4 blatant objects that become illuminated and continue across, and you'll see those continue down here as well. So we're going to go ahead and take that back. First object. The 4 others, and then again you'll see it continue down on the mid-right portion of your screen right there. Now, the way that these are coming across over the horizon, it does sort of seem like they could be satellites. You know, they're coming over the horizon and they're being illuminated by the sun on one side, reflecting the sunlight as per the perspective of the cosmonauts in the ISS, and then continuing their linear trajectory, of course curved by Earth's gravity, over the horizon on the backside. The interesting thing about this, though, is that this is taken over the Antarctic. Typically, the satellites that you are going to have that go around Antarctica and around the poles are going to be surveillance satellites. They follow a longitudinal path going from pole to pole, so as the Earth rotates below them, they can continuously look down on different portions of the Earth. You'll have geopositioning satellites. So it's interesting to see that we have them flying in formation like this, because typically when you have things flying in formation, you would expect, what first comes to my mind would be the Starlink satellites, and I do have a picture of those brought up over here, just a quick Google search of the Starlink satellites, and you're able to see that these also follow this linear pattern. They stay clustered together like this, and it's not necessarily them going in a straight line, although sometimes they do. But here's a good example of a long exposure shot where you can see them coming across horizontally as well, and following that same linear pattern. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that what we're seeing in Ivan's video here is just that. It's just satellites that are flying in formation. Again, it is sort of odd that we would see that happening over a pole. So we'll go ahead, we're just going to bring this up, and we're going to look at this again. We're going to take this back. That way you guys can see this and come to a conclusion for yourself. Now, Russia did say that they're going to be launching an investigation to identify what these objects are. Most likely, I imagine it is going to come back just being satellites. But let's look at this again and decide for yourself what you think this is. Once again, you'll see that first object come into frame, followed by the 4 other objects that become illuminated. And if you haven't just watched this entire video, it's absolutely gorgeous. I love watching videos from the International Space Station looking down on Earth, especially Aurora Borealis. It's amazing just to see it dance across Earth. It's so beautiful. But let's go back one more time and just look at this, because this is an interesting video. It is very strange to pick this up. And something else that I think of when I see this, though, is, with all the satellites that there are, what are the chances that these are the only ones that we're seeing? You would imagine that with how many there are encircling Earth at any given time, that if we're going to be seeing these 5, if we're seeing these 5, it would make sense to see more. Again, though, this is only a short period of time, a short recording. Now, it is a time lapse and sped up, of course, so these objects aren't actually moving this fast due to it being a time lapse and sped up. I personally think that we would be seeing more objects, and we might very well be, and it could just be a matter of perspective from where the cosmonaut is, where the ISS is, and its angle looking out at other objects. Some of them might not be reflecting anything, so that, again, that is also not out of the realm of possibility. We're going to look at this one more time, and I'm going to call it Again, let me know what you guys think about this. Regardless of anything else, this footage is absolutely beautiful, and props to Ivan Wagner for sharing this and getting this footage. It is truly phenomenal. Alright guys, well that's going to be it today. So thank you for tuning in, stay safe, and hope everybody has a great day.